tell you guys have had practice at that. Good job. Well, good evening and welcome to Jackson Magazine's 16th, can you believe it, 16th annual Top Teachers Awards. We are so incredibly glad that each and every one of you are here with us to celebrate the wonderful educators that we have in our community. To begin our programming, we have a wonderful tradition. So if I could, I would like for you to please rise and direct your attention to the center of the room for the presentation of the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard, up and move!
March time! March! Color guard, halt! Left, face! Present, arms! I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order, arms! Left, face! Forward! March!
Thank you so much. I would like to give, and you guys are already doing it, a big round of applause, and like I say, I know you're already doing it, to Sergeant Mike Nichols with the Jackson Area Career Center ROTC program. You guys did a wonderful job. Each year, it's always a delight when you kind of get to see things come full circle and being able to see some of the same students year after year be part of the Color Guard, and then also be able to be at the Top Teacher event. I just think is a wonderful way to help to, in any case, I just think it's a wonderful bit of serendipity. So we thank you so much for all of your work and the wonderful presentation. So for those of you that I haven't yet met, my name is Jenny Cronkite, and I am the operations director with Jackson Magazine. So I'm not a writer, I'm not the photographer, but I'm one of the folks that gets to help run things behind the scenes. And it is truly an honor to welcome you this evening to this event. I love Top Teachers. It's one of the funnest parts of my job, and I don't just say that lightly. So thank you so much for the teachers in the room, the educators in the room, for the ways that you impact our students' lives. I think it's pretty poignant to say thank you very much for keeping them safe in every way that you do, so thank you so much for that. So I would like to take a moment, if we could, to recognize some of the familiar faces that we have in the room. So if you are a previous top teacher, top 10, top 5, teacher of the year, whatever little name you want to put on it, we ask that you please stand so that we can kind of give you a round of applause. So if you've ever been honored in the past as a top teacher, let's see those faces. So thank you so much for everything that you do, and we're so thankful that you're here to help us welcome a new class of top teachers this year. So next I would like to recognize an extraordinary group of people, I will not read every name on this slide, don't worry, who helped play a very wonderful active role in guiding our magazine. So it's my pleasure to introduce the members of our editorial board. I think there's a couple of you here. So if you're on our editorial board, please stand. Trisha's here. Do I have anybody else? Okay, well, a round of applause for Trisha. Yeah. Also, events like this don't just kind of happen. So it's one of the things that we really want to make sure that we give some highlight and kudos to. We would really like to recognize the sponsors who generously allow the celebration to take place each year. It's seriously because of their support that we're able to do this celebration. So we'd like to give a big thank you to our top sponsor, which is True Community Credit Union. And then, round of applause. Go ahead. So one of the things that we wanted to point out is that True Community Credit Union stepped up in an extremely meaningful way this year because they are helping us provide the classroom mini grants to each one of the top teachers. So we're extremely thankful for their financial support. We're also super thankful for some long-standing partnerships that we've had. We've had a very long-standing partnership with both Spring Arbor University and then also Stowe Insurance Agency. So thank you guys so much for everything that you do to help teachers in our community. So thank you. Additionally, we would like to point out that we have a wonderful relationship with the Jackson Area Career Center. They are one of our supporting sponsors. And then also the philanthropic support for the financial part of the awards that the teacher gets. Those comes from True Community Credit Union, the Jackson Community Foundation, and then specifically also the Patricia Stenson Trozen Endowment Fund. So thank you so much. There are some special thanks that we always have to give. So this beautiful venue, 49 Southwick, we're so thankful for this venue. I've been framed, so the frames that you're going to see tonight, there's a couple different ones. There's the physical award that Jackson Magazine gives you. That has been framed by I've Been Framed. There's also 2 different legislative tributes as well that you're going to see throughout the evening. So those are wonderful, but those were framed by the legislator, not by I've Been Framed. Jackson Rental Center, they helped us with the linens. And then, how about the barbecue tonight? Everybody have good dinner? We had some wonderful comfort food, so PB and J's barbecue, and then of course our Top Teachers Committee, which you guys are going to hear about a little bit later, and then again the Jackson Area Career Center. In the spirit of the evening, along with the Career Center, I just wanted to point out that these wonderful little cookies that you have at your tables, those were created by students that are in the food services program. So we gave them a huge challenge this year, and we said, please help us not drip frosting all over people's clothing before they get up and talk. Can you help us? What can you do? And the teachers at the Area Career Center and the students, they resoundingly were like, yeah, we got you. And so they were able to provide the individually wrapped cookies. And if you want, you can all collectively open them right now if you want to, make the wrappers do a little wrinkle. It won't bother me. It's all right. They're meant to be eaten. And then they gave us a generous amount. So we have some extras that we're going to have in the back on your way out today. And we put them in bags of 20. So there's a couple extra. When I say extra, it's like take it to your class tomorrow and be like, look, for you. And then also, if you see the wonderful centerpieces that you have at your tables and then the wonderful bouquets of flowers, those also have been created by students. And so it's just some of the wonderful things that we're showcasing about the education and the hands-on programs that we have in our community. And if you want, you very much are able to take the center floral piece with you. Seriously, dump the water and just put it in your car. It will be beautiful, fill it up, and get home. It'll be fine. So you're able to do that. We ask that if you're at a table with a top teacher, you give them first dibs if they would like it. I mean, of course, let's have some manners, but we're Midwesterners. We can do that, right? And then if you don't have enough flowers or you don't get a centerpiece, you're encouraged to go out to the plant sale that the Career Center students are putting on. It's actually this Saturday, so make sure you go out to day 2 of that plant sale. And I feel like those are all the things I have on that slide. I have to go that way. Okay, so a little bit more about our Top Teachers Committee. So the selection process. And if you are actually an educator or you're part of the administration, you've probably heard this before. But if you're one of the people watching the live stream right now on Facebook, or you're one of the people in the room that are here kind of as a family and friends, like a bonus celebrant, there's some things that you probably don't know. And it's probably because your family didn't see fit to tell you how rigorous of a process it is that they go for this award. So each qualified nomination comes, so the nominations come in year round. And then each qualified nominee begins by completing a really detailed questionnaire. And if you're a teacher who has filled out that questionnaire, was it easy? Look at those heads. No, it is like a homework upon homework upon homework assignment. And they do And it is the strangest thing to ask some people that are in the most humblest of professions, please talk generously about how you were a rock star so that we may honor you. I don't know that, thank you for taking up that task and being able to put on that mindset, because it is definitely a challenge. And so those questionnaires, they include a bio and then some essays that are designed to highlight not only the unique teaching styles, but also the impact that each one of the educators are making in the community. And all the submissions that we receive, of course, by the deadline, that's in October, are carefully reviewed, and they're considered by the initial selection committee. So you see that kind of on that little chart. So the initial selection committee takes those and they review those. And then they develop a slate of finalists. And then from there, 2 dedicated volunteers from our classroom observation committee, who are all former teachers, by the way, go and they visit each one of the finalists' classroom. Talk about pressure. So it's not just any old, observation. You get people who have literally been in your shoes coming into your classroom, and they are observing you. And they have a written reflection that they complete. And then that reflection goes along with all the other reflections and all the other paperwork to the final selection committee. And then they, from there, take all of those different pieces of input. And that final selection committee decides who's going to be our top teacher. And then they confirm that all of the teachers are in that slate of finalists should actually be top teachers. And so it's an incredibly rigorous process. And the amount of volunteer hours is absolutely insane. So it is not with any sort of lightness that I say that if you're a member of the Top Teachers Committee, could you please stand? We would like to give you a round of applause. So this evening, we are very proud that there are going to be 12 exceptional educators whose passion, dedication, and hard work make a lasting impact in our community. And thanks to the generous support, like we were alluding to, from True Community Credit Union, the Jackson Community Foundation, and the Patricia Stenson Trozen Endowment Fund at the Jackson Community Foundation, the 2026 Teacher of the Year is going to receive $3,000. And each one of the 11 top teachers are going to receive a $600 classroom mini grant to help support their classrooms. And I kind of can't belabor this enough, but our program, like a lot of programs, it had experienced some unavoidable funding changes this year. And that significantly reduced the resources that were available for the teachers' grant dollars. And ultimately, that means the students wouldn't get those dollars. And so in response to that, we turned to True Community Credit Union and we said, can you help us? What is there? And they came back with a huge yes. So we're really, really thankful for that, for their commitment to the program. And that's why that we've kind of decided to call them the top sponsor for top teachers. You get it? It's funny. Yeah. It's my version of a mom joke because I'm not a dad. So that kind of direct philanthropic support through the Community Foundation really helps makes this award, everything that it is, and we're really thankful for that. So that's a really, really long way to say, please give a round of applause for Sarah Ermentinger from the True Community Credit Union as our top sponsor.
First of all, thank you very much. It is so amazing that we have the opportunity to support this and the teachers and all of the good work that you do. I don't know why we wouldn't support this, and so it was an easy yes for us to do this and come to this spot. So at True Community Credit Union, our mission is to cultivate legacy-defining moments for the people and places we serve for generations to come. So as I was thinking about that and what to say tonight, I felt like if we were tasked to create a mission statement for the work of teachers, it may sound similar and have the words legacy, defining moments, and generations to come in the narrative. So with that, I did a little bit of research on some famous people who've been impacted by teachers. And so I came across one, and I want to share that quick story with you, in a legacy defining moment in the teacher. This young girl was 7 years old when she was assaulted by her mother's boyfriend. Following the incident and the subsequent death of her attacker, she became a selective mute for approximately 6 years, believing that her confession of the trauma had an impact in a hand in the man's death. During her silence and into her teens, she went to live with her grandmother in Arkansas. While there, a well-educated neighbor and teacher, Mrs. Bertha Flowers, noticed the girl's condition and took an interest. Mrs. Flowers asked her to walk home with her and invited her inside for refreshments. During that visit, Mrs. Flowers read aloud, often described as the first time the girl heard literature delivered with rhythm and expressiveness of poetry. Mrs. Flowers told her that written language was important, but that words also needed the human voice to carry their full meaning. She gave the girl books, especially poetry, and instructed her to read them aloud, learn them, and return prepared to recite a poem. These visits, which the girl later described as life lessons, became an ongoing source of encouragement and structure. Over time, the girl began speaking again, starting with reading and reciting literature aloud. Mrs. Flowers' approach, personal attention, high expectations, and a practical focus on spoken language helped the student reconnect with her voice. The experience is often cited as a turning point that shaped her later work as a writer and a speaker. That student would later come to be known as Maya Angelou. This is just one example of profound impact a teacher makes and the legacies you leave through the students you all touch. I will leave you with one of Maya's most famous quotes. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you all for showing up and doing this work every single day for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. We are so grateful again for True Communities Credit Union's leadership and generosity. And I love that quote. I think that's a wonderful quote. So in addition to having a top sponsor this evening, we also would like to hear a little bit from some of our presenting level sponsors who continue to support, helps us strengthen and celebrate the impact of this award. So first, we would like to invite Dean Pauly from Spring Arbor University to come up and speak. Dean Pauly.
Thank you so much. I'm going to start tonight with saying thank you for allowing us to continue to serve as a sponsor for this amazing event. It's so consistent with what we educate our young people to do, and that is to go out and serve their community. And this is hopefully a way that we can model the importance of that. Thank you to Jackson Magazine. There is no more noble profession than that of being an educator. For me personally, I was in my kindergarten classroom when my kindergarten teacher inspired me, and I said, this is my world. And there are a number of people through my education that encouraged me to pursue other professions. Engineering, law, apparently I could argue pretty well. I said, no, I'm going to be a teacher. And there were teachers who said, you'll never find a job. And my response was, watch me. I had no idea what I was walking into, other than I loved learning, loved books, loved teaching. And so Jackson Magazine, thank you for honoring our teachers. Thank you to our educators. As Dean for the School of Education, I have the privilege of working with our students in their maybe first and a half year of school. And the message we deliver to our students is there is no more important profession, because there is no other profession that educates all others. And I said to them this year, you will either like it, which means you pursue teaching because you kind of like the classroom. You kind of like, theoretically, September through June. And you sort of like to coach. What a great partnership. Or you love it. And when you love it, you model for your students the importance of reading, the importance of helping others, the importance of serving their communities, the importance of being a lifelong learner. Or you live it. And I would contend that the teachers that are here today, the teachers that are being recognized, and there are so many others, Jackson County has some phenomenal teachers. You are here because you love and live this profession. When I looked at the list of people being recognized, I thought, gosh, I had students in every one of these rooms. Because not only do you live your profession, you take seriously the importance of mentoring for our up-and-coming teacher leaders. And so you open your doors for our students, who are the next generation of teacher leaders, to learn from you, to be mentored by you, to learn what good practice is, but most importantly, and I think one of the most important things I hear our students come back with is when their teachers, their mentor teachers, say to them, I'm going to use that. And so there's reciprocity between that learning. I can't overlook how Spring Arbor is really filling a teacher need. We live in a time where teaching and public school education is under constant scrutiny. We live in a time where if I go into technology, I make 4 times the amount of money that I make as an educator. And guess what? You go to people who want you. The difference in teaching is our kids come to us because they have to. And so our teachers are motivating and driving young men and women to want to learn more, to aspire to be something greater than what they are today. We are proud at Spring Arbor that we are helping fill some of these voids between our undergraduate program and elementary education, secondary education, and teachers, I'm here to tell you, inspire young men and women to want to teach science and math. There is a dire need for great science teachers. There is a dire need for great math teachers, and it starts when they're in kindergarten, to get the curiosity light going. We are moving students through our graduate programs. We are so happy. This July will be the 1-year mark of starting our Ed Leadership. So we are providing programming for people to become building administrators. And that is no easy feat. What's coming? This summer we're going to begin writing our doctorate in education, so that our local administrators and our local educators can pursue their doctorate if that's what they choose to do. Why do we do it? Because as educators, we want our young people to aspire to be something greater than they are today. And we model what that looks like. We provide an opportunity for them to grow alongside of us and to aspire to something greater. So again, thank you, Jackson Magazine. This is such a phenomenal profession, and to the core of my heart and soul, there is no greater profession. And so for taking time, money, etc. to recognize this, thank you.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Next, I would like to introduce another dedicated sponsor for this event. It's actually going to be Adam Stowe from the Stowe Insurance Agency.
Hey everybody, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. So my name's Adam with the Stowe Agency, NEMIC Insurance. First of all, I want to say a big congratulations to all this year's top teachers, and also to a big thank you to Jackson Magazine. We need some good news in today's day and age, and when you turn the news on, it's always negative, and this is a celebration of excellence in Jackson and our educators, which I think is really cool. Now, if you don't know what NEMIC is, that's okay. We're an insurance company that was founded back in 1950 by a group of Michigan teachers. Kind of like auto home insurance for school employees is kind of our shtick. The Stowe Agency, we've been in Jackson over 30 years. So my parents, Bob and Shelley, here started it. I'm second generation over in Jackson. If you do want to check out any grants for your classroom, so all throughout the year we have the NEMIC Foundation. Many teachers and schools in this room have won a grant. And so if you want to check it out and go onto our website, there's grants all throughout the year. Some are big, some are small. I'd really encourage you to check that out. And yeah, thanks for letting us be a sponsor. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you again so much to our sponsors. There we go. So at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our co-EMCs for the remainder of the evening. You didn't think you had to listen to me all night, did you? No, you don't. So please help me welcome Pam Schultz, who's the chair of our Top Teachers Executive Committee, and then also Sarah Rundlin, who is the chair of our Classroom Observation Committee. Ladies, would you like to come up?
Thank you, Jenny. At this time, it's my, sorry, wrong spot. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here, and I'm very happy to be co-host along with Sarah for the rest of this program. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce someone else special to the program, and that is Monica Mosher of the Jackson Community Foundation. Monica is a valued member of the Executive Committee and will be helping hand out the Top Teacher Awards this evening, and then making sure that everyone gets their picture taken. So everybody gets their picture taken. So, and Monica, if you just want to wave, stand up for. Monica does so many great things in our community. We're so glad to have her as part of this. Tonight we're here to celebrate some truly remarkable individuals. These educators bring dedication, heart, and a deep commitment to shaping the future of the next generation. Each of our top teachers will receive a commemorative award along with a legislative tribute signed by our state and local leaders. In addition, our Teacher of the Year will be recognized with a framed copy of the main cover of the Jackson Magazine in honor of this celebration. As we begin, we will invite each top teacher forward and share highlights from the May edition of the Jackson Magazine. Please note that due to a couple of pending bond proposals, today is election day, we've adjusted the order slightly and moved two top teachers earlier into tonight's lineup so that they can, I think the administrators are very anxious to get back to ground zero for voting and be there when I see someone nodding, so we'll keep moving on. At the conclusion of the program, we'll gather all honorees at the front of the room for a group photo so that we ask that all of the top teachers remain until that time. With that, let's begin this evening's celebration and shine a spotlight on the incredible educators who have made such an impact this year. Our first top teacher is Susan Shink from Grasslake. This is not what I rehearsed. Where she teaches first grade at George Long Elementary School. From the moment Susan Shink begins talking about teaching, it's clear that this work is both her passion and her joy. Having known since childhood that she wanted to become a teacher, she's now spent more than 3 decades in elementary education. bringing energy, warmth, and heart to the classroom every day. From the first day of school, Susan works intentionally to help her students feel at home. She reminds them that their classroom is a family where everyone helps one another and looks out for each other. That sense of belonging is reinforced through a reward system she developed where students can earn money, probably play money, for positive behavior. Over time, Susan noticed something special happen. Her students began using that same money as a way to apologize and make things right when they felt they had not treated a classmate with kindness. Susan often says that she's learning just as much from her students as they are learning from her. No matter how her day begins, she finds that being with her students brings joy. She treasures their stories, their excitement, and their unique way of seeing the world. Her classroom is structured with predictable routines so students feel comfortable and confident with frequent movement breaks to help them stay focused. Weekly check-ins allow students to set goals and celebrate progress, reinforcing both academic growth and self-belief. Through her passion and care, Susan has created an environment where students not only learn to love school, but learn to believe in themselves. That dedication is why she is deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. Susan, please come up and share a few words with us.
Thank you. I'm used to talking in front of like 6 and 7-year-olds, so bear with me. I just want to say tonight, thank you for this award. Special thanks to Jackson Magazine and all the sponsors for celebrating educators. Another thank you to our superintendent, Dr. Angel. He's truly been a positive, innovative influence on all the teachers. My principal, Mrs. Clark, for always trusting me to do what I think is right for my kids in my classroom. But most importantly, my family for putting up with me for all the late nights, helping me put a classroom together every year and take it down at the end of the year. My son Jacob for always teaching me the new technology and being there for me. My son Jared for being the voice of reason. And my daughter-in-law Megan for the late nights that we've been up creating names for last-minute gifts for students where she gets her Cricut out and we do all kinds of crafting. My husband has put my bulletin boards together for years. And because I'm retiring at the end of the year, he is available if anyone needs bulletin boards. I'd also like to thank my Grass Lake parents and students. They've made my 25 years in Grass Lake the best years ever. And finally, I want to say thank you to all the educators out there who show up for our kids every day and give them their best. And I want to share my recognition with all these educators who pour their hearts into their work every day. Thank you.
The next top teacher we'd like to honor tonight is Joy Johnson from Vanderlake School District, where she teaches 2nd grade at Townsend Elementary School. For more than 20 years, Joy has chosen a career that places her right in the middle of what she calls the magic of discovery. She believes that there's a special kind of energy in the classroom, one that you can't simply find anywhere else. In those moments when learning finally clicks, when a student's face lights up with confidence and pride that continue to inspire her every day. Joy is deeply passionate about education, not just because she loves teaching, but because she believes so strongly in her students. She sees young learners as leaders in the making, and she finds joy in their enthusiasm, whether that comes from a simple science experiment or a brand new idea taking shape. What Joy treasures most about Townsend Elementary is the sense of family. From the moment she walks through the doors, she feels connected to a close-knit school community where the line between school and home gently fades. That small-town heart guides the way she supports both her students and their families. One especially meaningful experience for Joy involved welcoming a student and family who arrived during a time of great uncertainty. By creating a safe and supportive classroom space, She watched not only the student begin to thrive, but also saw the peace and the confidence that it brought to the entire family. Moments like that remind her that teaching is as much about compassion and understanding as it is about instruction. Joy believes that when educators lead with empathy, they build lasting partnerships with families, and they create spaces where children feel supported, capable, and confident. That approach is part of why her principal describes the school community as stronger because of the passion and care she brings to her work. Joy, it's a pleasure to honor you as one of Jackson's top teachers. Please join us and share a few words.
Thank you so much. So because I'm one of those, just like our previous educator, I talk with little kids all day long. So for me, it's a lot easier to read my little speech to you. So good evening, everyone. I am truly overwhelmed to be standing here tonight, to be named among this incredible group of educators, people I know who lead with such passion, creativity, and grit, is an honor I don't take lightly. I am often asked why I chose this path, but the truth is, I didn't choose it alone. I teach because I believe with all my heart that God guided me to this profession. He placed a calling on my life to serve, to listen, and to lead in the classroom. However, the real magic happens because of my students. They are my greatest teachers. Every single day, their curiosity, their resilience, and even their challenges inspire me to be a better person than I was yesterday. They remind me that education isn't just about curriculum, it's about connection. Tonight I am deeply humbled to accept an award for something I simply adore doing. There is no greater gift than finding the thing you were meant to do and getting to do it every single day. While tonight is a beautiful celebration, I have to admit I am already energized and excited to get back into my classroom tomorrow morning. I can't wait to be back with my students doing exactly what I love. Thank you all so much for this incredible honor.
Our next top teacher is Amanda Aguilera from Columbia School District. She's a kindergarten teacher at Columbia Elementary School. From an early age, Amanda knew she wanted to work with children, and with encouragement from her family, she found her calling in education. 12 years later, she can say without hesitation that she chose the right path. As a kindergarten teacher, Amanda focuses on building up strong foundations in literacy and math, while also helping her students learn how to be part of a caring school community. She believes that teaching kindness, problem solving, and respect is just as important as teaching academics in the classroom. In the classroom, her students are encouraged to participate, take ownership of their learning, and support one another. Amanda also works intentionally to create a classroom where every child feels seen and valued. She incorporates different cultures and perspectives so her students feel proud of who they are and learn to appreciate the uniqueness of others. Her principal describes her classroom as a safe, welcoming place where students thrive and grow into the best version of themselves. At the heart of her work, Amanda simply wants her students to feel excited, supported, and happy to come to school each day. That commitment is what makes her so deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. And Amanda, please come and join us and share a few words.
Yeah, I'm used to teaching or talking in front of little kids as well. They're very forgiving when you mess up. But I did want to say thank you to Jackson Magazine for offering this opportunity every year. As we all know, there's hundreds of teachers in Jackson County that are deserving of this award. So thank you for the opportunity. I'm definitely humbled and honored to be part of this group that's selected tonight. So one of the things that I've always loved to teach is kids to read. I love that I get to take part in developing readers and making kids confident in if they come with like no phonics or some phonics, I get to say, hey, I did that. But within the last couple of years, I've just kind of focused on also providing like a positive atmosphere for kids and where kids can learn how to use their words and be kind. Conflict resolution is a big deal to me. And so if I can send a kid on to first grade knowing how to use their words and be kind to other people, then I think I've done my job. Lastly, I want to say thank you to my principal, because without his positive support, we wouldn't love going to school every day, which is a luxury for some people to say that they love going to school every day, or to work. Thank you.
Our next top teacher is Lisa Ebner from Northwest Community Schools, where she teaches general music to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students at Northwest Elementary School. Lisa believes deeply that music is something every person carries within them. She often reminds her students that to be human is to be musical, and that anyone can be a musician. Each day she teaches 6 45-minute classes, reaching nearly 800 students and giving them hands-on experience with instruments like xylophones, drums, and glockenspiels. I should have practiced that one before. In Lisa's classroom, students do far more than play notes. She encourages them to listen thoughtfully and critically, asking what an artist is trying to communicate, what patterns they repeat, and what choices they make. Just as important, she creates a space where students feel safe, trying, failing, and trying again. Mistakes are treated as part of their learning, and trust and relationships are at the center of everything she does. Now, in her 28th year of teaching music and her 15th year at Northwest Elementary, Lisa's impact extends well beyond her classroom. Her work on the Michigan Education Standards Committee is helping to shape how future music teachers are prepared, with a focus on addressing students' changing motor skill needs. She also shares her passion for music through the Jackson Symphony Orchestra, children's classes, and the Jackson Chorale Children's Choir. Through her dedication, leadership, and belief in her students, Lisa helps young people discover confidence, creativity, and their own musical voices, making her truly deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. Lisa, please join us and share a few words.
Yay, elementary teachers, let's go. I'm gonna read two for the same reasons. Thank you to Jackson Magazine for this recognition as one of this year's top teachers. When I sat down with my interview with Marta Dodd for the magazine article, one of the questions that she asked about was what I valued most about the Top Teacher Award process. My answer was that I appreciated the opportunity for self-reflection during that questionnaire process, as well as the subsequent observations and conversations about my professional practice as a music educator. In other words, this process provided meaningful professional development and an opportunity to nourish my professional identity as an educator. And professional identity is a topic of interest because it was a topic for some research that I did during my master's degree. So this thought stayed with me a little bit. As you might imagine, having a strong and positive professional identity is what motivates any teacher to continue to improve and grow throughout the many challenges of an average school year. During my 28 years as a music educator, I've worked with students ranging from toddlers through high school across 3 different states. At each school, district, and state, I've enjoyed various levels of both support or hindrance to my professional identity. Music educators as a profession typically face a lack of academic prestige in their schools, often isolated as the only music specialist in the building, with challenging work conditions like the schedules, facilities, materials, and workload, as well as diminished community opinions of school music programs. In my daily routine, ironically, the same voices that openly praise a successful performance during one conversation will refer to the classroom teachers as the, quote, real teachers in a casual conversation the very next day, or that the positive behaviors in the music room are commonly attributed to the students liking music rather than to my classroom management skills or my ability to create a classroom culture and environment that students learn to enjoy. The absolute truth is that if I ran this business for the accolades, I would have left teaching long ago. What matters most is providing my students lasting memories and collaborative skills through the study of music. And don't get me wrong, in the circle of other music educators and through the various committees and state boards upon which I have served, my professional identity has been nurtured and is strong. But here in this room, surrounded by all of these truly excellent teachers, it is wonderful to be recognized as an excellent teacher among you. And I hope that this lifts up your professional identity as well. Thank you.
Sorry. Don't drop the money. Don't drop the money.
Our next top teacher is Hadley Holton. She is with the Jackson County Intermediate School District and works as a special education teacher at Northwest High School. Hadley's path to teaching began early. Growing up in a family of educators, she played school with her brothers and knew by the time she was a senior in high school that special education was her calling. Today, she lives out that calling in a self-contained classroom where she works closely with her students and their families, building strong, meaningful relationships. One of the most powerful moments of Hadley's teaching career came when 5 students she had taught throughout their entire high school experience walked across the stage at graduation. Watching their growth over time and celebrating the milestones with them was a full circle moment that affirmed why she chose this profession and cares for it so deeply. Hadley's classroom is intentionally built on trust, dignity, and belonging. She often reminds her students that they are family, creating shared expectations through a classroom family contract and holding meetings together when those expectations need to be revisited. Even in moments of profound challenge, including helping her class navigate the loss of a student, she leads with compassion and care. Her supervisors describe Hadley as a strong advocate who treats students with the respect they deserve while preparing them for the realities of the world beyond school. By helping her students build confidence, self-advocacy, and life skills, Hadley is creating a safe, inclusive space where students can learn, grow, and succeed. Hadley truly believes education is her calling, and the lasting impact she makes in the lives of her students is a powerful reflection of that commitment. Please welcome Hadley to share her words.
Thank you. I just want to start by saying thank you so much for this award. It's such an honor to be recognized tonight along with all these other amazing educators in this room and that we have in Jackson County. I do believe that this is not just my job, that it is my calling. I get emotional talking about it. I feel like God called me to this position, this profession, and I'm so thankful for it every single day. I could not do what I do every single day without my team at the ISD and at Northwest High School. From my teacher assistants to my teaching partners to my supervisors and administration, what happens in my classroom could not happen without each and every one of them, and I'm so grateful for them. Our goal is to show up every day and to do what's best for kids, to love them well, and to create a safe and inclusive environment for them. Which I know so many people are doing in this county. So again, thank you for this honor and for this award.
Our next top teacher is Barbara Hutchinson from Western School District, where she teaches 4th grade at Western Elementary. For Barb, school was always a place of safety growing up, and that belief continues to shape the way she teaches today. She wants her students to walk into her classroom and feel supported, encouraged, and confident, knowing that they have a cheerleader in their corner. Barb's journey to teaching wasn't immediate. It was during college that she felt drawn to elementary education with a focus on special education, a path that she followed for 11 years before returning to a traditional classroom setting. Now teaching 4th grade and previously serving students at Bean Elementary before the consolidation, she has truly found that her place is helping children discover what they're capable of achieving. Each day begins with intention. Barb greets every student by name, offering a choice of connection, whether that's a high five, a handshake, a hug, or a fist bump. She then leads her class in a motivational mantra, setting the tone that they are strong, capable, and ready to learn. She is just as committed to students who struggle or seem disengaged, believing that growth often happens when you least expect it, and wanting to be there to see it when it does. Barb believes deeply in meeting students where they are. She takes time to understand how each child processes information and adapts to her teaching to support different learning styles, rather than expecting everyone to move at the same pace. Through patience, kindness, and dedication, she creates an environment where curiosity grows and confidence thrives. Barb knows she may never fully see the long-term impact of her work, but she trusts that it's there, and that belief is what keeps her going. It's that lasting commitment to her students that makes her so deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. Barb, please join us and share a few words.
I will also try not to get emotional. It's gonna be a little hard. First of all, thank you to Jackson Magazine. I am both humbled and deeply honored for this recognition. Today, I, along with all of you, celebrate this incredible profession and the people who are the epitome of its greatness. As a child, I experienced firsthand the impact teachers can have. Their compassion and encouragement in my young life nurtured and inspired me to follow in their footsteps. I will forever be grateful for their influence and lasting imprint on my life. I'd also like to thank all who made today's recognition possible. To the Top Teachers Committee, thank you for your dedication and work towards this prestigious award. Thank you to the True Community Credit Union, the Stowe Insurance Agency, Jackson Community Foundation, and the Patricia Trozen Endowment Fund for providing grants to all of the top teacher recipients to use in our classrooms. I'm already coming up with some ideas. I would also like to thank my alma mater, Spring Arbor University, as well as the school district I proudly represent at Western. I have taught the past 14 out of my 20-year career at Western, and I'm so grateful for their leadership, guidance, and continual support. I'd also like to thank my family, my mom, who, when she's not subbing in the school kitchen, she's my unofficial classroom secretary and assistant, bringing many of my crazy teaching ideas to fruition. To my kids, Jaden and Emily, who keep me grounded and remind me just how endless a mother's capacity for love can be. And to my incredible husband, John, who never hesitates to cheer me on and support me no matter how tenacious and persistent I can be with my, I have an idea, or so I'm thinking of doing this project moments. His steady and calm presence never wavers. I love you so much. And lastly, I'd like to share one of my favorite quotes by Nelson Henderson. Each time I read it, I'm reminded of the profound opportunity we have to impact a future we will likely never see. It reads, "The true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit. May we all find meaning and purpose in the path we take and the trees we plant." Thank you.
Our next top teacher is Mandy Kennedy. She works for Northwest Community Schools and serves as a resource room teacher at Northwest Elementary School. From a young age, Mandy knew she wanted to help people. Seeing the way a family member with special needs was treated helped guide her toward a career in special education. And 27 years later, she still knows that she chose exactly the right path. Mandy is inspired every day by the students she serves. She finds joy in their enthusiasm, their trust, and in the small but meaningful moments of progress that remind her that she is exactly where she was meant to be. Those moments, she says, are what makes her heart swell and reaffirms her commitment to teaching. This year, Mandy took an important step to better support her students by creating a classroom designed to help children regulate their emotions. She intentionally built flexible spaces filled with tools like swings, weighted vests and blankets, tents for quiet moments, and sensory supports. She also provides multiple pathways for academic learning, using hands-on materials and a range of tools that allow students to engage in ways that work best for them. Mandy's calm and caring presence, paired with a predictable and peaceful classroom environment, helps students feel safe, welcome, and accepted for who they are. Routine, patience, and encouragement guide her teaching, reinforcing the idea that mistakes are part of learning and progress comes through practice. Having spent her entire career in Northwest schools, Mandy has also become a leader within her building. She serves as a mentor, a collaborator, and an advocate for students and families, leaving behind a legacy of care, dedication, and leadership that others continue to learn from. Mandy's impact reaches far beyond her classroom, and it's a privilege to recognize her as one of Jackson's top teachers. Please welcome Mandy to say a few words.
Thank you, everyone. I have to put my readers on. Good evening. I'm deeply honored to receive this recognition. For 29 years, I've had the privilege of teaching special education at Northwest. Go Mounties! Every single day has reinforced why I do this work. Growing up, my Uncle Chris had special needs and attended Torrent until his mid-20s. Having him in our lives profoundly shaped who I am today. I remember as a teenager, Uncle Chris would babysit at my grandparents' house, but really we were there together, playing cards, dancing, eating pizza, creating moments of joy and connection. Those simple acts of happiness left an unforgettable mark on my heart. It became the foundation of my teaching philosophy. My students face significant cognitive and social emotional barriers, but I've learned that with my patience, positivity, and genuine belief in their potential, transformation is possible. My intention in the classroom is simple: sprinkle happiness into their lives. Every day I work to create opportunities for joy, connection, and belonging, just like Uncle Chris taught me. Tonight, this accolade belongs to my incredible family who has supported my passion for education, to my coworkers here and at school, whose collaboration and compassion inspire me daily, and to my supportive administration team who believes in my work, and to my husband. There's so much of this journey. He brought Hinkley Donuts, his guitar to brighten our classroom, chaperoning community service trips to the animal shelter, Friendly Home, the Aware Shelter, and he also joined us on recreational field trips to the zoo, skating with the local hockey team, and baseball games. Even now as adults, former students will still recognize him around town and say, "Hey, tell Mrs. Kennedy I said hi." Those moments remind me that what we do matters far beyond the classroom walls. Every student I teach has potential to change the world, and I am honored to walk alongside them on that journey. 29 years later, my heart still fills with purpose and joy. Thank you for this honor. I'm truly grateful.
Our next top teacher is Lisa Rando from Jackson Public Schools, where she spent much of her 27-year career teaching kindergarten, including the past 6 years at Sharp Park Academy. Lisa believes that kindergarten is one of the most powerful and transformative years in a child's education. She has watched students arrive in September just beginning to develop early skills and then leave at the end of the year writing sentences, forming friendships, and growing in confidence. Those moments of progress are what continue to inspire her work. Lisa understands that kindergarten often represents a child's very first school experience, and she takes that responsibility to heart. Alongside academic learning, she places strong emphasis on student well-being, making sure that her classroom is a place where children feel safe, welcomed, and excited to come to school. Through daily greetings, high fives, and genuine interest in each child, she builds strong relationships rooted in kindness, respect, and responsibility. Her colleagues recognize Lisa's openness to growth and leadership. She was among the first at Sharp Park Academy to fully embrace the inclusive model, thoughtfully supporting both general and special education learners. She's also taken leadership roles as a curriculum chair. She's collaborated on new instructional strategies and mentored new teachers entering the profession. Lisa knew early on that teaching was her calling, and it was inspired by her own love of school. Over the years, she has passed that love forward, helping to shape confident learners and supportive learning environments wherever she has served. Lisa's dedication, leadership, and heart for her students make her deeply deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. Lisa, please come join us and share a few words.
Thank you, everyone. I've read for many years with great anticipation Jackson Magazine, and I never thought that this honor I would be able to share with all the great teachers in Jackson County. The successes and growth in my classroom are only possible because of the great team that I have in my classroom every day, my caring and supportive administrators, and my colleagues who inspire me every single day. Thank you, Jackson Magazine.
Our next top teacher is Sammy Reban. She works for Concord Community School District, where she teaches 4th and 5th grade at Concord Elementary School. Sammy's teaching journey began with an honest and unforgettable moment. On her very first day, standing in front of her 3rd grade class, she wasn't quite sure what to say. Her students laughed, and she quickly realized that teaching takes far more than preparation alone. That moment helped shape the educator she is today, one who knows that relationships are at the heart of every successful classroom. Now a respected upper elementary teacher, Sammy faces a unique challenge of helping students raised in a fast-paced digital world fall in love with reading. She believes that when students disengage, it's often because reading feels disconnected or boring. And she works hard to change that. By rethinking traditional text and using games and interactive activities, she helps students read with purpose, sometimes without even realizing how much they're learning. Sammy is intentional about letting her students' needs guide her teaching. When a lesson does not land the way she had hoped, she adjusts. In one case, she shifted a disengaged class into partner work and let the students explore legends on their own. The results was creativity, collaboration, and learning that truly came alive. Beyond her classroom, Sammy is known for building strong connections with students and families. She also serves as Concord's communications and family engagement leader, helping strengthen homeschool partnerships and supporting hands-on STEM initiatives that encourage curiosity and problem solving throughout the district. For Sammy, success in teaching is not about changing who students are, but helping them become confident in who they already are. That belief is reflected every day in her work, and is why she's so deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. Sammy, please join us and say a few words.
Thank you. I also am really confident speaking in front of children, so bear with me. First, I just want to say thank you to Jackson Magazine and all the sponsors, my family, for supporting me. I feel extremely lucky today to be standing here among so many people who have been a part of my journey. Sue Schenk was my first teaching experience when I was a freshman in high school, and she was the first person who believed in me and told me that teaching was my calling. She let me lead her classroom, and she'll forever hold a place in my heart. Michelle Clark, my 4th grade teacher, and the first person who gave me a career in education as a preschool teacher and latchkey teacher. It's just been incredible. My best friends, and an administrator who believes in me and tells me yes, and every time I ask her what my crazy idea can do this time. I didn't really know what I was going to say in this speech, and so I was telling my students about what was happening tonight, and I said, I don't know what to say, and they wrote me some notes. And so, in the words of 4th graders who spent all day taking MSTEP ELA test, this is what they wanted me to tell you. Hi, my name is Sammy Rebant. I love my students, especially Kinsley. A good teacher is a teacher who cares about their students, loves teaching, and loves their students. You are funny. You let us paint your windows. You laugh at kids. You believe kids get what they deserve, which is usually the good stuff. P.S. You are the best teacher, and I am not lying. The thing that makes you a good teacher is that you treat kids how they want to be treated and also how they should be treated. A good teacher is someone who is honest, just like Mrs. Rebant. You give us a place to feel welcome. A good teacher is good because they need to care about their kids. If there's one thing that makes a good teacher, it is that that they are amazing and fun, they have confidence, and they have a good attitude every day. I don't know what world they live in. I don't think you should be mean or try to show that your students, or show up your students. I also think that you are one of those teachers that is really nice, not fake nice. I like that you give us snacks and that you're nice. I think a good teacher is somebody who is nice to every student and cherishes every moment with them. And they try to teach them to be kind to everyone and tell them to treat everyone nicely, and they don't make fun of them, even if they're different. My teacher is the best. You listen to me, and I feel like I have not liked all of my teachers before, but I don't have a strong relationship with all of my teachers. But Mrs. Rebant is the nicest teacher. So don't think that you're not the best teacher, because I think that you are. Something that makes a good teacher is they are good at building relationships with students. You are the best because you are so nice. And I thought that those were so special because it's about the relationships and it's about the journey and who these people are, and there's just so much more about them than any test, paper, or report can say about any school or any kid, and this is who they are. So thank you for doing this.
Our next top teacher is Trina Schultz from East Jackson Community Schools, where she serves as a 6th grade teacher at East Jackson Elementary School. Trina's path to the classroom was one built over time and rooted in a deep belief in lifelong learning. After spending many years as a stay-at-home mom to her 4 children, she discovered that her passion for education grew right alongside her family. She wanted to model curiosity, growth, and a love for learning, not only for her own children, but for the students that she would one day teach. That passion led Trina to begin volunteering in preschool and kindergarten classrooms, which eventually grew into substitute teaching through her children's K-12 years. While balancing family life and part-time college coursework, she earned her bachelor's degree in education from Baker College in 2011. Those years of volunteering and subbing laid the foundation for the thoughtful, dedicated educator she is today. For the past 7 years, Trina has taught 6th grade ELA at East Jackson, a school that holds special meaning for her. It is where she completed her student teaching and where she was mentored by an educator who helped to shape her early career. Today, she works alongside many of those same colleagues, now as a peer, in a community that feels like home. Some of Trina's most meaningful moments happen long after students leave her classroom. Former students often reach out with messages, visits, or hugs, sharing how much their time together mattered. Those connections, she said, are her greatest reward. Trina is known for working closely with her grade level team, support staff, and families to ensure student success. Her care, collaboration, and commitment to her students make a lasting difference, and they are why she is so deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. Trina, please come join us and say a few words.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here today, along with my little circle of support over there. I want to give a special extra thank you to my mentor teacher, Lisa Vogt. I'm sorry. She has been my rock through everything. And I'm just so happy to accept this award and honor. I'm so appreciative of the investment that the foundation is giving with our grant money towards the students in our classroom. Thank you.
Our next top teacher is Melinda Spicer from Concord Community Schools. She's been a kindergarten teacher at Concord Elementary School for more than 35 years. Melinda's career is remarkable not only for its length, but also for its consistency. She has spent her entire teaching career in the same school, forming deep connections with generations of Concord families and building lasting ties to the community where she was born and continues to serve. Colleagues describe Melinda as a cornerstone of the early elementary program. She combines strong literacy experience with instructional leadership, while also supporting fellow teachers in helping build a positive, collaborative school culture. Her work reflects both excellence and heart. Melinda considers herself an introspective educator who is always looking for ways to improve. She regularly studies research-based practices and reflects on her teaching with the goal of doing things just a little bit better each year. What motivates her most is reaching every student, especially those who struggle, and experiencing the joy that comes with making a meaningful connection and watching growth take place. Her classroom is filled with warmth and energy. Melinda creates an open and engaging learning environment, often incorporating music, movement, singing, and laughter into her lessons. She believes learning should be joyful, especially for young children, and she embraces the humor and curiosity that naturally come with teaching 5- and 6-year-olds. Teaching with love and compassion, supported by proven instructional strategies, has sustained Melinda throughout her long and fulfilling career. As she says herself, she cannot imagine doing work that is not both fun and meaningful. That passion continues to inspire students, families, and colleagues alike, and it's why she's deserving of recognition as one of Jackson's top teachers. Please welcome Melinda to say a few words.
I'd like to thank Jackson Magazine for recognizing teachers today. And we all know that education is not a career path you should pursue if you need a lot of praise and accolades. In fact, in my day spent as a kindergarten teacher, I'm not hearing, wow, that was a great lesson, or you are an awesome teacher. Instead, the comments I hear are more like, and I quote, you look like you're about to be old. Your teeth are really getting yellow. And why do your arms wobble like that? Kindergarten students are real. But their harsh words are balanced out by their love and their hugs every day. So it's a fine line. Sometimes they do tell me I'm the best teacher ever, but at age 5, how many teachers have they? I do like it when my older students come back to visit me and recall memories we had and tell me that I'm still their favorite teacher. So that's a little more meaningful when they've had a few to compare me to. And I had one come back and give me this note. So I may not be the top teacher in Jackson County, but I saved this. I was proclaimed the best kindergarten teacher in the galaxy. Top that one. So this has really been my toughest year in 37 years of teaching. I've had some really, really tough days. So the day that I received notice that I was a top teacher finalist, I shed a few tears because I needed that. So again, we don't do this for the praise and appreciation, but boy, we sure do appreciate all of that we get. So, and sometimes it really comes at just the right time. So thank you.
Before we recognize our Teacher of the Year, we want to pause for a moment and recognize what it truly means to be named a top teacher. Out of more than 1,600 educators across Jackson County, these top teachers represent some of the very best of the very best. Each of them has demonstrated exceptional dedication, passion, and creativity in the classroom. And each has made a meaningful and lasting impact on their students and school communities. These educators went through the same thoughtful and rigorous evaluation process as our Teacher of the Year. Their commitment to excellence, their care for students, and their leadership in education are nothing short of inspiring. So before we move forward, let's take a moment to celebrate all of our top teachers, and please join me in giving them a round of applause. And now we come to the time to recognize our 2026 Teacher of the Year, Lauren Sager from the Jackson Area Career Center. Lauren believes education is more than just classroom learning. To her, it is the foundation of a strong community and a thriving society. She sees education as both a stabilizing force and a launching point, helping students envision real and achievable paths for their future. As a cosmetology instructor, Lauren brings learning to life by connecting academics with real-world application. She values traditional education, but believes it is at its best when paired with hands-on experience and workforce readiness. In her classroom, students develop not only technical skills, but also the habits that matter: showing up on time, working as a team, managing time, and solving problems. Over the years, Lauren has supported former students as they open salons, enter the workforce, and even return to education as teachers themselves. Her influence continues to ripple throughout the community she proudly serves.
Lauren's impact extends beyond her classroom walls. As a founding member of the Michigan Cosmetology Instructors Association, she has worked to strengthen the profession through advocacy, mentorship, and collaboration with the Department of Education to help rewrite the statewide cosmetology standards. Teaching was not originally in Lauren's plan. She began in cosmetology intending to work her way through college, But as she mentored others and spent time in the salon, she realized how much she loved helping people to learn and grow. Encouraged by instructors who still support her today, she found her calling in education. Inside her classroom, Lauren creates an environment that mirrors the professional world that the students are preparing to enter. Learning is productive, engaging, and enjoyable. Music plays, conversations flow, and the students are encouraged to take risks, make mistakes, and try again. Lauren believes that expectations are a form of caring, and she pairs accountability with compassion to help the students feel both supported and challenged. Teaching in Jackson is deeply personal for Lauren. Having grown up, gone to school, and building her career here, she values the opportunity to give back to the community that raised her. Her students often go on to work locally, continuing that legacy. Her principal describes Lauren as the standard for positive influence, noting the time, care, and effort that she pours into creating a learning environment where students truly thrive.
Lauren Sager represents everything this honor stands for. She prepares students not just for their next step, but for a future where they can contribute, adapt, and succeed. Her passion, leadership, and belief in her students makes her an exceptional educator and a deserving recipient of this award. Please join us in giving a well-deserved round of applause to our 2026 Jackson Magazine Teacher of the Year, Lauren Sager.
Students who shared with me, like, maybe is a threat that they were going to watch my speech on the live feed, so I'm looking forward to their honest feedback tomorrow morning. I had a conversation. First of all, I wrote this and I rewrote it and I rewrote it and then I added some stuff, so we're all going to see the final version together tonight. So, I had a conversation with a student not too long ago, in which I had to reiterate a common theme in my classroom. And so real quick for context, the space of time in a school, for those of you that maybe are not familiar, between spring break and the end of the year is like the last lap of Mario Kart when the music gets like all high-pitched and weird. And it just feels like that for a little while, usually until like the end of the first week of June. So during the course of this conversation, I asked the student, how do we view expectations around here? And in the, kind of mumbled, those of you that have like the elementary kids, they're so sweet. So I was talking to this student, they kind of mumbled in like that teenager where they're like, expectations are a form of caring, because they hear it all the time. And it's a common theme that I share with my students, and I was hoping to take a few minutes tonight to share with you as well. At the heart of what I do, I'm training the next generation of cosmetologists. But my greatest task has nothing to do with teaching a curriculum at all. It is about developing humans. And as every educator in this room knows, we are preparing well-rounded people to contribute meaningfully to their community. Over the span of my career, I've realized that the greatest gift that I can give my students isn't anything to do with technique, it's expectation. There is a common misconception that being a caring teacher, or a caring person for that matter, is synonymous with being laid back or soft. And I'm here to actually argue the opposite of that. Expectations are in fact a form of caring. In my program, if a student leaves a messy station or turns in work that is truly not their best reflection of their efforts, I can't and I don't let that slide. I hold them to a standard because I refuse to let them be okay with mediocrity. When we lower our expectations to avoid tension, we are essentially telling a student that we don't think that they are capable of anything better. When we look a student in the eye and we say, this isn't your best work, I know you can do more, let's go back and try it again, what we're actually saying is, I see your potential, I value your future, and I care too much about you for you to let you settle for less than what you're worth. And this truth doesn't stop at the classroom door. It's the heartbeat of every healthy relationship that we encounter. Professionally, we respect the leaders who challenge us and the peers who give us honest feedback rather than just like giving us a polite smile. And on a personal level, the people who truly love us are the ones who hold up a mirror and remind us of what we promised to be. To expect something from someone is to invest in them and is an acknowledgement that they have something valued to contribute. And perhaps most importantly, we must apply this to ourselves. Teachers are notorious for pouring from an empty cup, and caring for ourselves means having the expectation that we deserve boundaries, room for growth, and grace. We can be relentless in our pursuit of excellence without being too proud to admit that we also make mistakes. And high expectations aren't about control, they're about capability. And they're not about meeting an arbitrary bar. Expectations can, and should, meet the student or person where they are and challenge them to become more because we see that person's value. In a world that often settles for good enough, let's be the ones who care enough to demand greatness. Because when you believe in somebody's capacity to meet a high expectation, you eventually give them permission to expect that of themselves. Before I go, I'd like to acknowledge some of the people who support me as I continue to grow in my career in classroom practice. My husband, who supports me in every pursuit I have and never complains when I purchase food for kids that aren't ours. My mom, dad, and brother, who offer endless support and help me in any way when they're asked, along with my friends and my colleagues that are also my friends, for making some days a little less heavy. I'm appreciative that I have a team of building administrators that value the people in their building above all else. And I'm fortunate to have a district administrative team that provides teachers with the support to fulfill their goals for their classrooms. Finally, I'm so grateful to be here tonight, and I'm flattered to be included as part of this group of fantastic educators and the people who support their work. Thank you so, so much.
Lauren, thank you so much for sharing your reflection with us this evening. I have to say, I completely concur about the great expectations. We are truly grateful for your leadership, your heart, and the example that you set for our students and our community. One of the things that I wanted to point out that I think you've been noticing that's been going on is Monica Mosier over here has been doing a wonderful job at helping us hand out all of the fun little hardware. Has everybody had a chance to kind of get a look at the different little pieces of hardware that have been handed out? There's the actual, like the physical award from us, and then there's the two different tributes. If you haven't yet had a chance, take a look at those. They are stellar. You'll find that your representatives from like your school district actually are the ones that endorse each of the legislative tributes. So each one is kind of a little bit different based on where you are. And anyway, I just think that's kind of cool. But with that, I kind of wanted to give Monica a quick minute, and she can kind of come up here and give us a little bit of kind of some, I don't know, some closing thoughts, I think would be the way to best say that. So please help me welcome Monica Mosier.
I wrote all these words, but I'm not going to say them all because I know that you've had a long night and you're ready to go home and celebrate and sleep and get up and do it all over again tomorrow. Like Jenny said, the tributes, we didn't really get a chance to talk to them, but both Representative Schmaltz is here and Nancy is here for Senator Sue Schenck. those tributes are incredibly fantastic. So I'm Monica Moser. I am from the Jackson Community Foundation, and the Community Foundation is this place for over almost 80 years. People, tens of thousands of people, have given gifts to be able to support work in our community, like supporting teachers. One of the ways in which we do that is something called the Teachers Fund. And a long time ago, and in my notes it says, in 1992, the Hearst Foundation helped us start the Teachers Fund with a gift of $220,000. And that fund has grown to almost $500,000 and has awarded over almost $400,000 in grants to teachers over that time. So that is an amazing amount of work supporting teachers in their classrooms with classroom grants. So the point of me telling you about the Teachers Fund is that it is ready and available right now to accept applications from teachers to help with projects in your classrooms. And you can request up to $3,000. And luckily, the deadline isn't until July 6th, so you have plenty of time. If you have friends, all of you have friends who are teachers, please share the word about the Teachers Fund because it really can help implement things that you need to do and want to do in your classroom and just don't have the money to do that. So one of the funders that you saw today was the Patricia Stinson Trozen Fund, and that is an endowment fund of the foundation that was founded in memory of my mother-in-law, who was an educator right here in Jackson County, and she loved reading to kids, and so it's the Patricia Stinson Trozen Literacy Fund. And so when I approached my father-in-law about, hey, we're kind of a little short on funding for our awards and our grants, he said he couldn't think of a better way to remember Pat and the work that she did in our community and share that with other teachers. So I just wanted to share that with you. That's just one of the many funds at the Jackson Community Foundation. So, to every teacher and all of our honorees here tonight who pour your time and talent and heart into our students, thank you. Thank you for your patience, your creativity, your perseverance, and your belief in the potential of every child. We heard that over and over again tonight. You are shaping the future of our community in ways that ripple far beyond the classroom. You are helping to form the leaders of tomorrow, and we are deeply grateful. So please join us now one more time in having our top teachers and our Teacher of the Year to stand, and we want to stand and give you a standing round of applause. Ready? Everybody stand and applaud. And the last thing I get to tell you is please do not leave. The top teachers and the Teacher of the Year, please come forward. We're going to get a group picture. And the very last thing I would like to say is next year, we're going to get one more thing to add to the pile of things that you need to carry back to your seat. I think one more thing would be good, don't you think? One more thing. But thank you so much. Have a great night.